What is poppin' BSNians? So I recently got in a conversation with a coworker of mine wherein we discovered that both of us were homeschooled. That was fun. It was also hilarious because a different coworker had asked me like, "Oh, where'd you go to school?" And I was like, I don't really know how to say this, but... And so eventually, I shared. I was homeschooled. I'm proud of it. It is what it is. It was a great time. It was fun. But then the other coworker, she's like, I knew, based off the way that you were describing the situation, that you was homeschooled, because I was homeschooled too. And yeah, so we had an amazing bonding experience. And as such, because we're close in age, we started talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I know I've talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Before because the first series of arcs right up before the Seal of Orichalcos thing, which is like there's a curse that comes down and it's trying to trap the soul, and then Yami pushes Yugi aside, so it's Yami in just permanent form and Yugi's trapped. It wasn't terribly interesting, but the initial arcs with Pegasus, hey Yugi boy, and Kaiba, Mokuba, absolutely delightful. Naturally, none of our other coworkers really knew what we were talking about except for this one dude. So we just go down the rabbit hole. And so we're talking about Mai and her Harpy's lady and Joey and the red eyes black dragon and the blue eyes white dragon. How utterly terrifying Pegasus was at the beginning. With his Millennium Eye, he could see through cards and was messing around with dark magic and shadow realm. It was a wild show. Then people started getting possessed. How in the world my good Christian mother let us watch this? I have no idea. Actually, I do know. we never watched the episodes around her. See, it was chess, not checkers for us. Anyways, so we're like, yeah, that was crazy. And in particular, the battle that came up was when they were at the dueling tower. It was Kaiba's dueling tower. And then at the top, this is the arc where they introduced the whole idea of the Egyptian god cards. Slifer the Sky Dragon, Obelisk the Tormentor, and the Winged Dragon of Ra. Crazy battle because Merrick was possessed. And prior to this, you would lose, but pretty much it was just that you would lose. In this arc, you would actually be banished to the Shadow Realm. Souls were getting erased over a card game. I know they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, meaning that if you go to Vegas and get something you weren't really wanting, you can still come back with that. But what if you played blackjack and never came back? Shadow Realm. And then the dude next to us goes, in the original version, there's a 0 season of Yu-Gi-Oh! It wasn't the Shadow Realm. It was hell. They couldn't have hell in the children's show, so it became the Shadow Realm. But there's a version where they go to hell. What? Wild.